All right, what's going on, everyone? Casey Adams here. Welcome to the Rise of the Young podcast. Today, episode 36, we got the man Bugus in the house. I'm super pumped up to get him on. I've actually been following him and Russ for a while now, but first off, everyone, if you don't know who Bugus is, him and Russ, they actually started DIEMON, which is their record label, when they were about 17 years old. And based on the research I did, they said it stands for Do It Every Day Music or Nothing. But Bugus, thanks so much for coming in, man.
Yo, thank you for having me, bro. I'm excited.
For sure, man. Yes, the first thing I kind of like to go, like, kind of before we jump in depth, man, for the people that might not know who you are, what you've been doing, man, I'd love for you to kind of give your intro, like, so you can let people know who you are, man.
No doubt, bro. My name is Bugus. I'm an artist, Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian kid. I was born in LA, grew up in Atlanta for like the last 20 years. I've been doing music since I was probably 15. But then at 16, 17, I got really, really serious with it. And I got my own studio and stuff. So for the last 7, 8 years, I've just been recording, making music, putting it out, just building a following, basically just sharpening my sword as an artist, just developing as an artist, building a brand, just learning as much as I can about the music business, like reading books about it, like watching interviews from anybody who's successful in the business, and just basically preparing myself and just getting the most amount of knowledge I could so I could, have like as minimal errors in my career as possible. Because you see how like a lot of people, they have like one fatal slip and it's like done. For
sure, man. Dope, bro. So when it comes to, I know that you said you were born in LA, you moved to Atlanta. So when it comes to like your childhood, like you said, so you've been doing music for a while, but like what was like you said, when you were 17, that's when you started getting serious about it. I know that you and Russ started DIEMON, but what was that like transitioning period of like just from writing down music to actually like deep diving into it? Like what was that whole transition period like?
That was like, I would say that was probably like a year. That period is probably like a year long, maybe a year and a half. It was like my junior year in high school. First semester junior year, I was already going over to Russ's house, because the way we started off was like Russ was already producing and stuff. One day he just walked into class and showed me his he put some headphones in my ear. No, some other kid named Alex put headphones in my ear and was like, "Yo, Russ made this beat," and I was like, "That's Russ, like our Russ, like Russ, we know." And he was like, "Yeah." So the next period, me and Russ had a class together, and I was like, "Yo, are you fucking serious? This whole time you've been making beats? You didn't tell me, blah, blah, blah." He didn't even know I rapped or anything yet. No one knew I rapped. I didn't tell anybody, but I was just like writing shit. So after school, Russ was like, "Yeah, come to my house, blah, blah, blah." So at the time, there's this kid in our high school who was a rapper. So I brought him over to Russ's house with me, because I wasn't really like recording songs yet. I was just writing. And then so we get to Russ's house, and I just see like he had a nice basement with like an iMac and very minimal gear. All we had was an iMac, a guitar amp was the speaker, fucking a camera tripod was the mic stand. We had this like $15 ghetto microphone from Walmart, and we used like Russ had like a hanger and pantyhose over the microphone. Hey. Like it was just the most makeshift ghetto studio in the world, but it got the job done. And like I was at his house for like a year, 6 months, maybe 8, 9 months, like 2 semesters worth of school. Recording there. And then after I got like serious and super confident with it, and I was just like, okay, yeah, I've made a few songs. I've gone to a couple other studios, paid for studio time. Like I really, really want to do this. So then my senior year, at the end of the first semester for Christmas, I just got like a laptop, and I got an iMac and microphone and speakers. And that's literally that's all we really needed to record shit.
That's dope.
So, yeah, that was basically what it was. But like that period is like it was like a year long in between, like when I started and then when I figured out I really, really want to do this. It was just a year of going to from Russ's house, working on songs. I was in a group at the time with Russ was producing for a group, all the kids who rapped at our school. We were a group called TSG. Yeah. And I wasn't even rapping yet. I was just giving people my verses and shit. I was like literally, because I don't know if I didn't have the confidence. I don't know what it was, but I was just kind of like, here, you're a rapper. You can do it. I have raps, but here, you rap them.
Okay.
So I was giving like this dude who rapped at our school the raps and shit. But then after a while, he just wasn't that serious with it. So I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And then so I would go over to Russ's house by myself after school, and then we'd work on songs and shit and download beats off the internet. Like just the most struggle ever.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Because I know like
101.
That's insane, man. So when it comes to like you and Russ, like when did y'all officially meet? Because I know that you said like in high school you guys had some classes, but like does it go far back? And like how did that whole journey start?
Yeah, it goes further back than high school. I met Russ on the first day of 8th grade. Like I went to Crabapple Middle School, this middle school in Georgia out here. I went to 6th grade. I was at this middle school. 7th grade, I got kicked out, so I got sent to this military school, and then I come back for 8th grade. And when I come back for 8th grade, like, you know, you recognize all your friends. Like, this is before fucking internet and all that shit. Like, all my friends are just ecstatic to see me back 8th grade. I missed all 7th grade. So I walk into homeroom. Everybody's like, yo, everybody's like happy as hell to see me and shit. I'm happy to see everybody. And then like I pretty much knew everyone outside like a couple people, like a girl or two I didn't know or whatever. But then in walks this new kid, and it's Russ. I'm like, yo, who is that? No one knows. So I just go up to him and start messing with him, and like we hit it off instantly. Like I just start fucking joning on Russ and shit, and he just starts joining back. And so we met in 8th grade, and so we played on the same basketball team, like 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. We played at the same high school basketball team. And it wasn't like I knew him for 3-4 years before we ever got into the studio. We were like friends before we got into the studio. So when we got into the studio, there was just this already organic, natural chemistry because we talk shit to each other 24/7 anyway. So it's like it's easy to tell your friend like, yo, that shit's whack, do it again. You know what I mean? But like when you're working with somebody who you don't really know, it's like you're afraid to say the truth because you don't want to offend them and you don't know what that could lead to.
Okay, let's go.
But basically, I met him in 8th. We met in 8th grade, and we were cool for like 3-4 years before we ever got into the studio.
That's dope. So that's crazy, man. So like before y'all even started rapping, y'all were just homies, right?
Yeah, exactly. And teammates, friends and teammates too. We played on the same basketball team for like 2-3 seasons.
Okay, that's dope. So my next question, man. So when it comes to like you guys, I know how you said you guys had like the studio, y'all had the ghetto studio from the upfront, but then you guys started progressing, getting better equipment and stuff. Like, what do you think was like the major like fuck it, let's do it like real hard and like let's actually pursue it? What was that transition for you and him? Like, was it just you and him when it comes to starting the record label DIEMON, or like what was that whole like all right, like let's actually do this? What was that like whole pivoting point like?
Well, the reason why we started DIEMON was because one, we were like we need to have like our own website. We need to have like the intent at first wasn't to like start a whole record label or anything. It was just more so like we need to have our own website. We need to have our own kind of like
brand in a sense.
Our own brand. Yeah, we need our own thing. So we're just chilling in the basement one day, and it just kind of hit me. I was like, holy shit, do it every day, music or nothing. That's like we could like create something out of that. And then we came up with DIEMON. Then I went online, looked for like the fucking what's that shit called? I went to GoDaddy or some shit, Fat Cow, I can't remember where it was.
Yeah.
I looked for the domain name. Some guy had it. I bought it off of him and then created a website. And we basically just wanted to have our own digital headquarters, our own place where if blogs didn't want to post us, we'd still get posted somewhere. So we wanted to have our own spot. So, and basically have our own umbrella where we could like operate out of, have our own logo, have our own whole brand and image. So that was really what it spawned out of. And then, it kind of grew. I mean, it definitely grew, but at first it wasn't like, yo, let's start a record label. It was just more so like, we have a need. Let's fill this need. Okay.
Like to kind of like associate the entire music, what you guys were building. Like that was like kind of the brand from the upfront of like, we need to like kind of associate ourselves with something.
Exactly. We need we need a glue. We need like something to stick to this. We need a logo to put on our shit. We need like, because I don't know, I've always just studied successful people like from Diddy to Birdman to like all these guys have logos. All these guys have their own companies outside of like the major labels they work with. They all have like the Rockefeller logo is like a legendary logo, the Bad Boy logo, the Cash Money logo, the Young Money logo, like the No Limit Tank. All these different logos and brands. We knew we needed something. We can't just be rappers with like no branding savvy whatsoever.
For sure. No, that's definitely smart. So was this like before social media or like what time period was this in?
This was right when like Facebook was already hot, like all through high school. Like I had a Facebook since 9th grade, and I got a Twitter like senior year, but this was Instagram wasn't popping yet. And I don't even think Instagram was out in 2011. Because we started DIEMON officially in 2011. Like that's when we got it registered with the state of Georgia. That's when we got like our LLC, all that shit. Okay. So we were still using Facebook and Twitter. Instagram hadn't popped off yet. Yeah.
Okay. So like So when you guys started the record label, like you got it going, like what was like, did you guys currently have fans putting out music and getting like tons of listens, or like when y'all first started DIEMON, like what was your music like? Like, did you already have tons and tons of listeners, or what was that position?
Nah, bro, we had no listeners. We had to literally create our own audience. Like, even before we had DIEMON, like I was saying before, we were in a group. I was in a group called TSG, and Russ was producing for the group because we were making all the shit at his house. And Russ like printed out a bunch of shirts for TSG one day and came to school with them and just passed them all out in the parking lot. Yeah. And then after that, like when I got my own studio, I basically would make a project and then I would print up 500 CDs and then I would call kids from local high schools, like off of Facebook, because putting out songs, I would get a couple of kids from like from like surrounding high schools outside of our high school. So I would just be like, okay, you fuck with my music, dope. I would call that kid and I'll be like, yo, I want to give you 25 CDs. Okay. Come give me your address or come to my house and I'll give them to you. And basically we had local high schools, like a high school called Centennial, a high school called Lassiter, Milton, all these different high schools in the area. Like I would basically get a foot soldier at each high school and just be like, yo, since you fuck with my music, can I trust you with 40 CDs? Only give it to kids who want it. Don't pass my shit out like it's a condom. Like pass it out to people who want this shit. Like other kids who you know like rap. Don't just like give it out. Just give it to kids who you know would appreciate it. Okay. And that kind of helped build we built our own. Like we actually still have footage of this, like driving around, pulling up at different kids' house and just like opening it, we have all this on camera, like popping the trunk and having a big box of 500 CDs and just being like, here's 20 for you. You go to Pope. Then we drive over to like a different city, hand it to this kid. And that just kind of helped us build a local buzz. And then like the further step from that, when we graduated high school, everybody who went to our high school, not everybody, but a lot of kids went to college and a lot of kids went to college out of state. I took like 30 of my closest friends in my graduating class. And when they got to college, I was just like, yo, not even 30, like 50. I still have all the stubs from UPS. It's so crazy. I kept all the, it's like 7-year-old UPS stubs. Yeah. I was like, yo, just send me your address. So we had kids at UGA, Georgia Southern, Michigan State, UCLA, USC, NYU, University of Florida, Georgia Tech. Like just kids went all over the country. So whether it's girls or guys, I'd be like, yo, if you fuck with my music and you're willing to send me your shipping address, you a bunch of copies and help me spread it out on your campus. So basically, I sent like 500 to 1,000 CDs again. Like once I got to college, saw my friends who went to college in different colleges. So basically, we built like our first initial audience before it cracked on the internet, and we found the people in the internet world was all just like
word of mouth.
We built a small fan base out of who was around us.
Okay. And so when you were handing out CDs, like it's all the word of mouth, you're sending to people you know to send out to other people. Like, was there any like tracking who was listening, or was it just like y'all sending out CDs and you like everyone just listening on the CDs? Like you said before, the internet was just y'all were just hustling, sending out all the CDs, and that was when you guys kept producing and staying consistent with everything?
Yeah. There was no way to track it, but I knew it was working because every now and then I would get like 10 mentions on Twitter, and it'll be like, hey, yo, I'm in Michigan State, got your CD from my roommate. Or it'll be like, yo, I'm at Ole Miss, got your CD from my roommate. And then I'd be like, okay, I know it's working because I have random kids who I don't know at these colleges hitting me up. And they got the CD at campus and shit like that. And I had a lot of friends who joined fraternities and sororities too. So I would literally be like, yo, spread this throughout your whole frat house.
So it's just like you started getting some mentions on Twitter. People started hitting you up. You're like, damn, like, I don't know these people. And that's when you guys started. Is that when you guys kind of transitioned to like the internet scene of like with SoundCloud and like really producing on that? Or like when did that whole transformation really play into the effect?
Well, so all the buzz that came from passing out CDs like by hand in the mail was all on Facebook. Okay. When from 2010 to like 2014, Facebook was like the main social media. Yeah. So all the buzz and shit came on Facebook. So I would see kids from different schools. I had like at one point I maximized the amount of followers you could have on Facebook. Yeah. Friends or whatever. Friends. Because I just had a personal page. I didn't even have a music page yet. But I had like 5,000 friends on Facebook at one point, and it got to even recognize anybody on my fucking timeline. Yeah. I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Yeah. So but then in like 2015, we started doing the whole SoundCloud thing, and that's what really broke the camel's back. That was because we were just looking and trying different things. Like putting out albums, shooting videos, just putting out as much songs and content and high quality shit as we could.
Yeah.
And then in 2015, we found like the shit that worked.
Okay, I see. So with like, I know that you said like it was like Facebook from the upfront, sending out all the CDs. And then when it came to like putting stuff out on SoundCloud or YouTube, like when you first started with SoundCloud, you and Russ, like was it something that there was already people that were like kind of blowing up on SoundCloud, or what was like the origin of SoundCloud when you guys hopped onto that platform?
It was, the mindset was more so we're tired of putting out albums and then only the first song gets the most amount of plays and attention. Okay. Like if you go on SoundCloud right now, you can go look at any artist who puts an album on SoundCloud. Yeah. The biggest song is always the first song or the song that was released singly.
Okay.
And if you notice on like an album on SoundCloud, it'll have like, let's say 10 tracks.
Yeah.
And they'll all have the same artwork, but the only song that doesn't have the same artwork is the one that's dropped as a single. And okay. We saw the trend that on everyone's projects, ours included, the biggest song was the first one or the one introduced as a single. So we were like, you know what? We're just going to drop each song one by one and treat every song we make as the first song. Because a lot of times we make a fucking dope ass song and it's song 7.
It's deep.
It's buried under 6 songs. Yeah. You know? Nobody gets to it. So you have this amazing song with 800 plays and you're just devastated.
Okay, I see. So when it comes to like, so I know because I follow like Russ on SoundCloud and you as well. So I know that like the branding of it is like, whether that be a different color, a different logo. So y'all were just like, the strategy was just putting out each like single. And like, I know I watched the interview with Russ and Gary Vee. It was like 60 days straight or 90 days straight, just like a song a day sort of thing, or like what was?
No, it was just putting out a song every week until it worked. That was the mindset. It was just like, we're just going to put out a song a week every week until it worked, because we learned about the internet. We like, because being consumers yourself and being like in it yourself, you can learn how to be a producer. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
If like, I basically use myself as like the #1 test dummy, because I'm such a hip hop fan and I'm such a fan of like pop culture and shit. I know what's going on. So like I study my habits and my behaviors, and I know that if I do something, there's probably at least 100,000 other kids out there who do it too, and we can, and that's enough. We don't need to have the whole world.
For sure. So, okay, I see.
So it's like we learned like on the internet, like a week online is like a month in reality. Oh, yeah. Like some people see so much shit on a timeline in 1 week that we were like, bro, this is like a month in real time. Like so much, you see so many images, so much content, so many clips. It's like a month has elapsed, even though it's only been a week.
For
so
sure.
we were like, yeah, every week just drop a new song. There wasn't really any set like we're gonna do 50 or we're gonna do 100. It was just like we're gonna do it till it works.
Okay, so it was just like fuck it, we're just gonna keep putting out music, right?
Yeah, I mean, because we already had the songs. Like back in the, like before we did the one song at a time approach, we'd make a 20-song album in 2-3 months.
Okay.
3 months, in 4 months, 3 months, we'd make a 20-song album, but then we just drop it with no promotion, no marketing dollars, like, because we didn't have any money. We didn't have any like way to like push it. We couldn't get it on World Star. We didn't know any bloggers. So the only real marketing and advertisement for the last song you put out is your next song.
Yeah, for sure.
And where we couldn't beat you with marketing and advertising, we could beat you with consistency.
Okay, I see. Dope. That's crazy, man. So when it comes to when you guys started putting out like the once a week, like how many on average you'd say, like when you started first doing that, when it comes to plays on each song, like was there any songs that popped, or was it just like y'all were just putting it out, not focusing on views at all, or like how did that kind of come about?
Well, yeah, for Russ's situation, like obviously What They Want, Losing Control, Pull the Trigger, all those songs popped off way more than the other ones.
Okay.
But like a lot of the other songs on his SoundCloud got a good amount of plays and did well, but obviously certain ones just took off way more. And same thing on my SoundCloud and like my Spotify and shit. It's like 2017, I put out a song a week. Yeah. And out of the 53 songs, they all got received well. And how I gauge shit is like, I like how people can be like, yo, my favorite song is this. And it's not the most played song. Because to me, it's like, as long as you like my songs, any song, even if it's a song I make and I don't love it as much as I love this song or that song, if it brings you to my concert or if it makes you a fan of my music, it's just job done.
Okay.
But for me, like I just know Free Bird, Give Thanks, Less and Less. Like I've had like in 2017, out of the 53 songs I put out, like 5, 6, 7 of them are just way bigger than all the other ones. Those are like the hits. So, but it's that's a natural thing. When you literally put out that much, you're going to have ones that stand up over the rest. And it doesn't mean the other ones are duds. It just means that these ones are fucking excellent and people really love them.
Yeah, for sure. That's what's up, bro. So when it comes to DIEMON in general, like when you guys started getting more buzz, like was there a point with you or Russ as a team that like you guys kind of like felt like different when it comes to like putting out music, when it comes to like, damn, like we actually got to take this more seriously? Or like, did you guys ever have like a transformation of like just stepping up in a different way? Or was it always just like being the same thing, putting out the same music and just like seeing how things would change over time?
We were taking it seriously from the second we left high school. We were taking it seriously. Yeah. I remember I chose to go to college in Georgia. I got into Purdue. I went up to Purdue. Yeah, I got accepted by them. So I went up to Purdue to visit it. I could have gone to Purdue if I wanted, but I chose to go to Morehouse in Atlanta because I wasn't about to leave Atlanta. This is the rap capital of the world. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not about to go fucking be in Indiana. It's like, who's made out of Indiana? I'm not going up to Indiana. But that's how serious I knew this was, and that's how much I believed in it. Like summer going into college, I was like, nah, I'm not going to Purdue. And many people were like, yo, you're missing out on a big educational opportunity, blah, blah, blah. I still graduated from college and everything, but I wasn't about to go live in Indiana and go to Purdue when I could literally go to college, stay in Atlanta, stay at home, have the studio constantly. For sure. Instead of crammed up in a dorm room where I can't make noise. Okay. I'd much rather, and then Russ was in college in Valdosta, which is like southern Georgia. Yeah. We were taking it seriously since we left. From the second, even while we were in high school, we put out a lot of songs. Okay. Second semester of senior year, and senior year we're putting out music. But like when that summer before college comes around, like you're about to experience it. Every high school is gonna experience it. Like there's that summer before college. And that's the summer where it's like you're free. You just finished fucking high school, but you don't really have any obligations till college yet. So you just have this 3 months of like, yo, I could do whatever I want. I can get a job. I could sit on my ass. Your parents aren't really that up your ass because they're proud that you finished high school. So they're not really. So you have all this free time. So we knew at that point, like, yeah, bro, this is what we're doing. Like, I'm not going to college. I'm going to stay in state so we could do this. Russ was like, I'm going to stay in state. So Russ went to college like 2-3 hours outside of where we grew up. So not on weekends, but on breaks, like winter break, president holiday, whatever, like any of those 4-day weekends, he would drive up, and it kept the grind alive. Like and even while he was there, he was always sending me beats, and I was always writing songs. Like we literally be rapping songs to each other over the phone. Russ would send me this beat. He'd be like, check out this beat, check out this hook. He'll sing the fucking hook and do the beat. And he would be like, yeah, I'm about to send it to you, blah, 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 write some shit to it. Yeah. So even the whole time we were in college, first semester, like whole first year of college too, before Russ dropped out, like we were still working, making music. He was making beats, I was writing. And then when we did get a chance to get together on holidays and breaks and, long weekends, we just got in the studio. Like one time we had a long weekend, and I have a project called 18. Yeah. Spotify and iTunes and shit. It's 9 songs. We did that because we got snowed in. We had the same way we got snowed in today. We had a long weekend, and we got home on Friday, and we were supposed to go back to school on Monday night because we didn't have classes till Tuesday. But we ended up getting snowed in till like Thursday or Friday the next week. So we had from Friday to Friday, and we made like 15 songs. And I chose, and we turned it into a project. And basically we just kept the grind alive. Like we didn't let the distance of being in college and shit really slow us down. And then so then after that first semester, Russ transferred to a school that was like next door to me. Okay, so it was just close. Yeah, so basically like he transferred to the Kennesaw State University, which is like right 10 minutes from where we grew up type shit. So I was already living at home, just driving down to the city to go to college anyway. So it was basically like, okay, perfect. Russ lives back at home. I live at home. Nothing's changed. We just have way more free time now. We're not in school from 9 till fucking 4 every day. Yeah, I feel that. So it's like you said you graduated and he dropped out, right? Yeah. Okay, that's what's up. So when it comes to like going through college, was there, because like the question was like, what did he drop out just because like he's wanted to kind of transition and focus, or like what was his reasoning for dropping out? Yeah, just so he could focus, because it was getting in his way. Like he couldn't make beats in class. Like a beat idea will come to him and you can't pull out your laptop and start. Like, even for me, it's like something comes to my head, I can write it down, but him as a producer, first, he would get a melody or a beat, and there's no way to like start on this. He'd have to literally shut his laptop and leave the class.
Oh, okay.
So after a while, you miss X amount of classes. You're just wasting money at this point.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. So when it comes to how you guys are currently flowing now, and like how you guys, when it comes to like the first, just having an actual, what's it called, like a concert, having people come, was that something that took time, or when did that kind of start happening?
Oh, yeah. It took a lot of time, bro. We've done so many shows with nobody in the crowd. We've done over 25 performances with a total of maybe 30 people each time.
That's
like we did one show. We were so gassed. We in Atlanta in 2012. We pulled up to the show. We rented a limo. Like we were just 19, feeling ourselves. We rented a limo. We get to our own show that we're headlining, and there is 7 people in attendance.
Okay. Yeah, bro.
We pull up like rock stars, like in a limo, just about to be sold out. We get there, bro. There's 6 people in the crowd.
Damn. So was that like local homies, or like what did that do for y'all's like mentality and everything?
It was literally like people who were fans on Facebook and like 3 friends we knew and 4. That was the whole show. It was literally like.
That's crazy though. Like I feel like that's like it's dope interviewing you, man, because like I feel like a lot of people don't get to see that sort of stuff, you know, especially with social media nowadays, and like coming from you and like the concert, like having 7 people, like was that at all like I'm sure like discouraging, but what was like, was it just kind of like a mental focus of like keep on doing it until it works, or like was there any like damn like this is like not good, or what was like the whole entire process of going through those first 25 shows?
I mean, we weren't even tripping on the like. Obviously, like sometimes we look right before you go on, you peek through the curtain, you see that there's not that many people there, and you have a slight half second of disappointment, like fuck. But it leaves you instantly because you still got to go out there and represent. You still got to go out there and give a great show because you could still turn 6. I mean, we used to perform in front of 6 people, like we were at the Garden. Giving it our all, energy, wailing on the mic, just ripping. And there's 7 people in the audience, but. So you're disappointed for like a half second, but it was never like the audience would never see that I'm slightly disappointed in the turnout.
That's dope. So when it comes to like that period of time, so now like the sold out shows and you and him like going on tour and stuff, like when did that happen? Like what was like, was it a huge just kind of transition, or like when did everything really start picking up to where you guys are today?
Well, so like how Russ was putting out a song a week in 2015, all that momentum. Like we put out a song a week all 2015, and then 2016 in the summer happened, and that was because some of the songs like Losing Control and What They Want had popped off, and they'd gotten enough traction globally and digitally, and they had built a demand globally. So it was like, we could book shows in Europe. We could book like even the first Europe show we did in Glasgow, only like 60 people came. It wasn't that crazy, but then a year later, we had 2,000 people come. You know what I mean? So like, cause Russ had become a star then, but like the first time we went to Europe and did Glasgow, it wasn't like a super sold out show. We had like 150 person venue and only like half of it was full.
Okay.
But then there were certain cities on that tour. That was like a 9-show tour. And there was certain cities like Belgium that had 1,100 people come out. That was because in 2014, we got booked in Paris and Belgium before. And the Paris show we did, maybe like 50, 60 kids came. Okay. And the Belgium show we did, about 200-300 kids came. So the second time we came back to Belgium, there was 1,100 people there, and it was crazy.
That is crazy, man. So when it comes to now, like what you guys are both doing, like are you guys currently like, when do you see each other? Is it like still you see each other all the time, or like what's like the relationship between you guys now, coming from 8th grade to growing, getting the record label to now, like how you guys, like what's that kind of standpoint on both of you? Because I know you guys are both killing it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not on the road, I see Russ basically every day or every other day, like because the studio where we make all our music is my house. Okay. So we still work every single day. Like I saw Russ not yesterday, the day before.
Okay, that's dope. So that is crazy, man.
It's the same thing, bro. Like we grew up together, so nothing's really changed. Like Russ, we see each other literally once. If we're not out in the world, like doing shows out of town, if we're in Atlanta in a 7-day week, Russ will come over 4 out of 7 days.
That's dope. So it's like still like you said, like nothing's changed, but it has. But when it comes to like the mentality of like how you guys met in 7th grade, did you still have that same flow just from like relationship standpoint?
Yeah, 100%. Like we're still doing the same long ass studio sessions from 9 at night till 7 a.m. 4 times a week. It's the same regimen. Like if it's not broken, don't fix it. We just keep shit the same.
That is clean, bro. So when it comes to, I always like asking people, because I know regarding the music industry in general, like it's not just like the music, it's like the mentality wise of like putting out consistent through like the hardships and shit. And I have a ton of young entrepreneurs as well as other people that are in different industries. Like, what would you say when it comes to an advice standpoint of like giving people a tip or something that has kind of kept you going through everything? Like, what's that one thing that you think has always stuck with you?
I mean, I would say just keep going, keep on creating it. Because at the same time, a lot of times when you first start, it's natural to like want to be seen and want to be known and want to be heard and want to be loved and coveted like your favorite artist. But a lot of times your artistry is not ready for that shit yet. You're not even good enough. Most of the time, you're just not good enough. Like we thought we were ready when we were 18, but the reality is that we weren't.
Okay.
But you have to believe in yourself and you have to think you're ready. But what I would tell any artist is to just keep on recording, keep on making shit, and just stay focused on and don't be in it for, if you're in it for the money and you're in it for the attention, then that's a wrong reason to be in it. If you're in it because you love making songs and you're chasing greatness and like you're chasing just making the most dope song possible. Like in my mind, I'm trying to like top Jesus Walks by Kanye West. I'm just trying to like create sonic dopeness.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's like a task in itself, and it takes a while to be good enough. It takes a while to like get used to using your own voice. Your voice is an instrument, so it takes a while to like, unless you're like a natural singer or a vocalist, it takes a while to like learn your pocket on what beats work for you, what style, like, developing your style, developing your tone, developing your brand, just developing yourself before you present yourself to the whole fucking world. It's a process, because a first impression lasts a lifetime.
100%, man. 100%. So in regards to that, I have a few more questions before we end this, man. But when it comes to just the current mentality you guys are in, especially with like artists listening or people that wanted to create music, would you say there's like one platform that you would like, if you had to start again, that you'd focus on now with the social world, or coming from your standpoint, like what would be the main focus to someone listening that wants to put out music? What's that number one thing you think?
I would say YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud.
Okay, dope. Because I know go ahead.
Yeah, I would say Spotify. Like YouTube is the biggest website and the most visited website in the world. If you take time, if any artist takes time to do a little research, go look up YouTube's facts. It's the biggest and it's like the third most visited website in the world or some shit like that. And it's the biggest video platform in the world. Yeah. And there's so many people on YouTube. So if I was an artist, I would put my music. I mean, I am an artist, but if I was giving advice to an artist, I would say YouTube, man. Put your music on YouTube, put your videos on YouTube. Sure. And you can, look at all these kids like Jake Paul and all these kids. Like, these kids are YouTube stars because if you're on YouTube, you're global. For sure. You have a record deal when you're on YouTube. YouTube is a record deal. That's worldwide distribution for free.
Definitely. One of my good buddies, Zay Hilfiger, he made a song like Juju on that beat or whatever. He was telling me it recently hit like 300 million plays on YouTube or whatever. And like he was telling me, because we linked up in LA, and it was just like when it comes to that song for him, like he was literally like DMing people all the time. Like you guys, when it comes to like sending out CDs, he was doing the same thing, but like Instagram DM now, because it's like a different generation, So I would say it definitely comes down to just like utilizing the platforms, which is like when you guys were first coming up, the CDs, handing stuff, word of mouth. I feel like for Zay, I just kind of brought up that because like the same type of correlation of like putting it out there, doing the work internally to actually make it like explode. I feel like that kind of correlates to each platform for sure.
No, 100%. Like now, I wouldn't be if I was starting from ground one. I mean, from step one right now, I wouldn't do CDs because nobody even laptops don't even come with CDs anymore.
For sure.
And no one really everyone's aux cord now. So I would definitely be doing more so what he was doing. And that's what I was doing at the beginning too. I was the annoying Facebook friend. Remember Facebook chat? I'm the annoying kid on Facebook who pops up, hey, listen to my song. Like I was just spamming. I see, I got 98 friends online. Well, 98 friends are about to get this song link. Okay. I was just like hitting up like, yo, what's up? Check out my song.
Okay, that's what's
up. I was spamming people, bro. Spamming. I was annoying as shit. I was going on people's Facebook walls and just slapping my music video on it. Like, yo, Yo, check it out.
Yeah.
Smack.
That's what's up, bro. And I feel like a lot of people take that for granted, though, because, like, even, like, from learning from Gary Vee and people like that, like, that's the hustle, you know? When it comes to nowadays with technology, with everything, like, is getting in front of people. I feel like a lot of people just, like, underestimate the power of that. Like, for me and you, for example, like, I sent you a DMs, we connected, and then now we're doing this interview, you know? And I feel like for Gary Vee, like, that's how I've been able to meet a lot of people just from a DM. Like, you brought up Jake Paul, like, or Zay Hilfiger, like, I brought up, like, just every, like, a message to someone nowadays, I feel like is so crucial to whatever thing, you know what I'm saying?
100%. Like, the technologies, it's made the whole world a global village. Like, everybody is like a second away. Like, I get DMs and messages from kids in Europe, kids in Canada, all across America.
It's crazy.
Everywhere. And it's literally like, and it's literally just, it's just crazy. Cause before I couldn't see what, like, now I could see kids playing my music all over the world. I couldn't 5 years ago.
For sure, yeah. I see you post on your story all the time, like the people like rocking to your music, and I feel like that's a good way for when it comes to like recognition of you for their standpoint, as well as in return of like you see the people nowadays when it comes to like the current technology and the state of music industry in a sense. Like that's huge, especially with like the different types of routes that you have and avenues to like for actually getting it out there, you know?
Yeah, man. Technology is literally crazy. The whole world's at your fingertips. Like you could push a button and be talking to somebody in fucking China. It's nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's crazy.
Dope. Yeah, man. Dude, I got one last question. And when it comes to just, I know at the beginning you talked about like high school, when it comes to you as a student, as well as I know that you said like you've studied when it comes to reading books about the industry, when it comes to like your current standpoint of learning about the music industry, as well as like you as a student in college or in high school, like what was that whole journey for you? Like, were you a good student? What was like your mentality towards school, or like what was your entire education process like?
Well, I can just tell you what my mom always says. My mom always says like, once I apply myself, I do well. Like I was the kid who, like, if I'm not interested, I could still get a B- and coast. I could just coast with ease. But if I apply myself, I'm an A student.
Okay.
But, you know, I wasn't super interested. Like, put it like this, I didn't really give a fuck about my academics as much as I could have, and I still got into Purdue. If I really would have cared about academics, I honestly believe I could have gotten into like an Ivy League school or some shit, but that just wasn't my main focus. So, but I finished high school with like a 81 or 82 average, like, cause at the end of the year, it's like a not a cumulative. They gave us the cumulative GPA. I can't remember what mine was, but they gave us like a cumulative, just like your average all through high school. I had like an 81 or an 82, and that's from somebody who came to school maybe fucking. I missed at least 2 weeks of school. I missed at least 2-3 days of school every month. Okay. So I wasn't in love with school. I just didn't like waking up early. I hated that. I didn't like the whole like authority figures, all the people at like the resource officers at schools. It just wasn't. High school just wasn't my vibe. And I was already taking AP classes. Like I was taking AP classes since sophomore year.
Yeah.
So I was already doing college level work in high school, and I just already felt that high school's all this shit's behind me. I don't need to be here for 8 hours a day. I liked getting suspended and getting ISS because I could go do my work. They would hand you your packet in the morning at like 9. I'd have all my shit done before lunch. Okay, and then I just and talk to the teacher from 12 till 3 till we get out. But I hated having to be on other people's schedule, other people's time. I have to sit in this class for 50 minutes when it only takes me 15 to do the work. Yeah. So I was always getting in trouble for like talking and shit and being disruptive in class. And it was mainly because I wasn't challenged. Like the work was easy. Yeah. It's like I always did work. Like I was a good student and shit. Because being a good student, it's more so about being diligent and about because the way it works is like if a teacher sees you try, if you're that kid who comes to school every day, you're always in class. If you're that kid who asks questions, you come after school if you need help or whatever. A teacher's not just gonna fucking flunk you. Like they're gonna be like, this kid is trying. So if you just try and you're diligent, you'll make it through high school.
For sure.
Yeah, don't get in your own way.
For sure. Because I graduate in June now. It's funny because like I'm taking like 4 classes this year because like I had the kind of mental change of like I'm already getting my advanced diploma or whatever it may be, but I get out of like 10, 15, and 11 this year. That shit's slight. But regards to I'm definitely gonna have all the information of where people can follow you, all the links to everything. But for the people listening right now, like what's the best place to get in touch with you, or if they had a question for you, what's the best place for them to do that?
Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, Bugus, at Bugus.
Perfect. Yeah, and then everyone listening, that'll also be in the link in the description. But that being said, Bugus, dude, I really appreciate you coming on, dropping your story, letting the people know what's up with what you got going on, man. Honestly, man, I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, bro. This was dope. Thank you for having me.
For sure. And then everyone listening right now, if you have not subscribed to the Rise of the Young podcast, make sure you leave a review. Make sure you drop a rating, subscribe, share it with a friend. That's the best way that this is going to grow as a community. But that being said, everyone, thanks so much for listening, and I will see you guys on the next episode.